And a man of Israel had sworn at Massapha, saying, A man out of us shall not give his daughter to Benjamin for a wife. And all the people came to Massapha and Bethel, and sat there until evening before God. And they lifted up their voice and wept with a great weeping. And they said, O Lord, the God of Israel, why has this come about in Israel, that today in Israel one tribe should be reviewed? And it came about in the next day that the people rose early, and they built an altar there, and offered up whole burnt offerings of deliverance. And the sons of Israel said, Who is the one who did not come up in the assembly to the Lord, out of all the tribes of Israel? For there was a solemn oath against the one who did not come up to the Lord at Massapha, saying, He will die by death. And the sons of Israel were comforted concerning Benjamin their brother, and they said, One tribe has been taken away from Israel this day. What are we to do for wives for them that are left? And it was we who swore by the Lord that we would not give them any of our daughters for wives. And they said, What one of the tribes of Israel is there which did not come up to the Lord at Massapha? And see, a man did not come from Jabesh Gilead to the camp, to the assembly. And the people were reviewed, and see, there was not a man there of the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead. And the congregation sent 12,000 men there, of the sons of power, and commanded them, saying, Go and strike down all the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead, with the edge of the sword, both the women and the people. And this is the word that you shall carry out. Everything male and every woman who is familiar with intercourse with a male you shall anathematize. And they found from among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young women, virgins, who had not known a man for intercourse with a male. And they led them to the camp at Selo, which is in the land of Canaan. And the whole congregation sent, and they spoke to Benjamin, who was at the rock of Rimmon, and called them to peace. And Benjamin turned back to the sons of Israel in that time, and they gave them the women who were from among the women of Jabesh Gilead, and in this way they were content. And the people were comforted over Benjamin, because the Lord had made a breach in the tribes of Israel. And the elders of the congregation said, What are we to do for wives for those who are left, since a woman has disappeared from Benjamin? And they said, An inheritance has survived for Benjamin, and a tribe will not be blotted out from Israel. And we will not be able to give them wives from among our daughters, for we the sons of Israel swore, saying, Cursed be the one who gives a wife to Benjamin. And they said, There is a feast to the Lord at Selo from days to days, which is to the north of Bethel, to the east, on the road that goes up from Bethel to Sekema, and to the south of Lebanon of Lebona. And they commanded the sons of Benjamin, saying, Spread out, and lie in wait in the vineyards, and you will watch and see, when the daughters of the inhabitants of Selo in Selo come out to dance in dances. You shall also come out from the vineyards, and carry off a man a wife for himself from the daughters of Selo, and you shall go away to the land of Benjamin. And it will be, when their fathers or their brothers come to dispute with you, that you will say to them, Have mercy on them, because they did not capture a man his wife in war. For it was not you who gave to them, you erred based on circumstance. And the sons of Benjamin did so, and they took wives according to their number from the dancers whom they abducted. And they went away and turned back to their inheritance. And they built cities for themselves and lived in them. And the sons of Israel went about from there in that time, a man to his tribe and to his family. And they went away from there, a man to his own inheritance. In those days there was no king in Israel. Each man would do what was right in his own eyes. It was when the judges were judging, and there was a famine in the land, and a man went from Bethlehem in Judah to sojourn in the countryside of Moab, he and his wife and his sons. The name of the man was Abimelech, and the name of his wife Noemi, and the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chelion, Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah. They went into the countryside of Moab, and remained there. And Abimelech the husband of Noemi died, and she was left, she and her 2 sons. They took for themselves Moabite wives. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the second Ruth. and they lived there about 10 years. And both Mahlon and Chalion also died, and the woman was left, apart from her husband, and apart from her 2 sons. And she set out, she and her 2 daughters-in-law, and they came back from the countryside of Moab, for they had heard in the countryside of Moab that the Lord had looked upon his people, giving them bread. And she went out from the place, there where she had been, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her. And they were going on their way to return to the land of Judah. And Noemi said to her daughters-in-law, Go now, go back each to her mother's house. May the Lord do mercy with you, as you have done with the dead and with me. May the Lord give to you, and may you find rest, each in the house of her husband. And she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. They said to her, We are returning with you to your people. And Noemi said, Turn back now, my daughters, for why are you going with me? Do I still have sons in my womb, and will they become husbands for you? Turn back now, my daughters, for I am too old for a husband to have me. For if I said, I have confidence that a man will marry me, and I will bear sons, you would not wait for them until they mature, would you? Or would you on their account refrain from getting married? Do not, my daughters, for it has been more bitter for me than for you, because the hand of the Lord has gone forth against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept further. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law and returned to her people, but Ruth followed her. And Noemi said to Ruth, See, your sister-in-law has turned back to her people and to her gods. Now turn back, you too, after your sister-in-law. But Ruth said, Do not oppose me to make me abandon you, or turn back from after you. For wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. And wherever you die, I will die. There will I be buried. Thus and so may the Lord do to me, and thus and so may he add, for death alone shall part me from you. Then when Noemi saw that she was determined to go with her, she ceased speaking to her further. So the 2 of them went on until they came to Bethlehem, and the whole city was abuzz because of them. And they said, Is this Noemi? She said to them, Call me no longer Noemi, call me bitter, for the sufficient one has greatly embittered against me. I went away full, and the Lord has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Noemi, when the Lord has abased me, and the sufficient one has maltreated me? And Noemi returned, and Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, returning from the countryside of Moab. They came to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. And with regard to Noemi there was a man, an acquaintance of her husband, and the man was powerful, of the kin of Abimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Noemi, Let me go now to the field and gather among the ears of grain, behind anyone in whose eyes I may find favor. And she said to her, Go, daughter. And she went and gleaned in the field behind the reapers. And by happenstance she happened upon the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was the kin of Abimelech. And there from Bethlehem came Boaz. He said to the reapers, The Lord be with you. They said to him, The Lord bless you. And Boaz said to his servant who was in charge of the reapers, To whom does this young woman belong? The servant who was in charge of the reapers answered and said, She is the Moabite lass, the one who came back with Noemi from the countryside of Moab. She said, Let me glean now and gather among the sheaves behind the reapers. And she came, and she stood from morning until evening. She did not rest a bit in the field. And Boaz said to Ruth, Did you not hear, daughter? Do not go to glean in another field, and you should not go from this one. Stick close to my girls here. Keep your eyes on the field, wherever they are reaping, and walk behind them. See, I have commanded the young men not to touch you. If you want anything to drink, go to the vessels, and drink from what the young men draw. And she fell upon her face, and did obeisance on the ground, and said to him, Why is it that I have found favor in your eyes, and you should take notice of me? And I am a foreigner. And Boaz answered and said to her, All that you have done together with your mother-in-law since the death of your husband has been fully told me, and how you left your father and your mother and your native land, and came to a people that you did not know yesterday or the day before. May the Lord repay you for your work, and may your recompense be full from the Lord, God of Israel, to whom you came to put your trust under his wings." Then she said, "May I find favor in your eyes, sir, because you have comforted me, and because you have spoken to the heart of your slave. And see, I shall be like one of your maidservants." And Boaz said to her, "It is already time to eat. Come here and eat some of the bread, and dip your morsel in the wine vinegar." And Ruth sat by the side of the reapers, and Boaz heaped up barley groats for her. She ate and was satisfied, and had some left over. And she got up to glean, and Boaz commanded his young men, saying, "Let her glean even among the standing sheaves, and do not dishonor her. By all means carry for her, and even throw aside something for her from the bundles and leave it, and she will glean, and do not rebuke her." And she gleaned in the field until evening, and beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ophah of barley. She picked it up and came into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and taking it out, Ruth gave her what she had left over after she had been satisfied. Her mother-in-law said to her, "Where did you glean today? And where did you work? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." And Ruth told her mother-in-law where she had worked, and said, "The name of the man with whom I worked today is Boaz." And Noemi said to her daughter-in-law, "He is blessed by the Lord, because he has not forsaken his compassion for the living and for the dead." And Noemi said to her, "The man is near to us. He is one of our next of kin." And Ruth said to her mother-in-law, "He even said to me, 'Stick with my servants until they have finished all the harvest that belongs to me.'" Noemi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It is good, daughter, that you go with the girls, and they will not confront you in another field." And Ruth stayed close to the girls of Boaz, gleaning until he completed the reaping of the barley and the wheat, and she lived with her mother-in-law.